going to have a debate as to uh, should we should we embrace tech or should we not embrace tech? Maybe the discussion we're going to have with the participants today, that the alumni that's going to come in to tell us how they were able to transition to get that career of their dreams, and maybe that would influence our decision. Hello, everyone. I'm Aisha Gulaho, and I'm the lead in charge of training and operations here at 10Alytics. And you get to know more about me later on, but I'm sure we are all raring to go. We are all like, you know what? I came here to listen to two fantastic individuals speak. And so, can we move on quickly? Can we go ahead to listen to this guy speak? Oh, yes, we're going to do that. Okay. But for those of us that are just joining the call, so maybe this is the first time where you're joining the analytics session, that's a masterclass or maybe a tech series, you might be wondering, what is 10Alytics? Or who is 10Alytics? Which is 10Alytics, as I always say. Okay, you might be thinking about all of those things. And so I'm going to share my screen so we get to see what 10Alytics is about. Okay, so at 10Alytics, we're an edtech company. And what we do is that we help as many applicants. If you just give me a moment, since I'm having issues sharing my screen. Okay, just give me a moment, please. So I'm having some issues sharing my screen. All right. So I'll just try that again. Let's see. Okay, you know what? Just give me 2 minutes. I'm gonna try to drop off the call and then rejoin, and let's see if that will fix up the issue. Okay, so I'm getting an error when I try to share my screen. So just give me 30 seconds and I'll be back.
All right. So sorry about apologies for that. We're in the era of tech, and at some point in time, there might be glitches. So just apologies for that. So while Isusa try to sort themselves out, like I said, we have a lot of newcomers in the house, and Billy Keys and also Ifikayo that are actually on the call. We'll make this as fast as possible. Yes, we spent 9 minutes. But before you would enjoy yourself today, that one is very, very 100% certain. But yeah, so let's get interactive, all right? Which of the career paths are you interested in? If you've ever heard anything about any career in tech, what excites you about the career in tech? Ranging from data analytics down to cyber security, down to data engineering. Which of these career paths do you intend to begin, in 2025? So let's see that in the chat box. Let's drop that in the chat box. Let's get to know your career aspirations. For me, I'm interested in business analysis. Also, Fatima business analysis. She has already written BA there. That's fantastic. Do I have other BA career experts there too as well? We want to begin a career in BA. No one wants to do data analytics or even agile Scrum Master. Let's have that in the chats only. Okay. Osarenti said APM. Okay, agile product manager. Emmanuel said data science. Also fantastic. Fantastic. HR analytics, data analytics, fantastic. But I think everybody here are gurus already. They already have the end in mind. That's good. Priscilla said this. Sunny said data analytics. Okay, that's good. That's good. It's interesting to see that people have the end. How you can get started in all this career path. Are you back on ISOSA? Or do you intend me to share? Can you do you want me to share
think
this?
okay, just give me 2 minutes. So I just want to try making a switch real quick, and then I believe I'll be able to share my screen. So I really don't know what's happening.
All right. So I believe it's the intro to 10Alytics, so I can share that from my end, and you go ahead to do the presentation. That work?
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
right.
I think we can do that.
Okay, good. So we'll get started from here. I'm gonna share my screen, and you go ahead to do that. So sorry, apologies once again. For this. Okay. All right, so that's over to you, Isis. I think the screen is visible now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much, Elijah. I'm sorry about that, everyone. So yeah, I'm having some technical issues. Sorry about that, everyone. So yeah, I was talking about analytics. What do we do at analytics? Analytics is an ed tech, and we help as many Africans, the Black community in general, transition into tech. So we have programs ranging from data analytics down to business analysis, to data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, cybersecurity, and of course AI engineering, which is more of which is common soon. Okay, so our facilitators are from the Fortune 500 companies, so you know that you're in good hands. And I introduced myself earlier. I said I'm Isisa Gulafo, and I'm the lead in charge of finance and operations here at Analytics. Okay, so that being said, enough of the wait. Enough of the wait. Let's get into what we're actually supposed to be doing today, and that is speaking to Bilikis and speaking to Oyifikayo to understand how they were able to make that switch, how they were able to get into tech, and how you can do same. Okay, so Bilikis, are you there?
Hi.
You want to come
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
here.
video so
Thank
we
you.
can spotlight you?
Am I able to do this without the video? I'm so sorry. Because I'm
Okay,
in the
okay,
middle of
that's fine.
work. Yeah, thank you
All
so
right,
much. Yeah.
all
Okay, so
right,
I'm Bilikis Tanko Adenike, and I joined 10 Alytics about 4 months ago. I think I was in the July or August cohort. And
yeah,
the reason why I joined 10 Alytics was because I needed the hands-on experience. Because when I moved to Canada, I had this solid experience from Nigeria in finance, but I
yeah,
realized, coming here, I realized that the job market, they needed skills, like some exceptional skills, like, advanced skill in Excel, Power BI, and SQL. So I kept dropping my resumes. I was getting rejections. And sometimes when I go for the interview, I get this backlash that, what, you don't have this skill in what we're looking for example, Excel. So I decided to join 10 Alytics. And how did I get to know about 10 Alytics? It was through a referral from a friend. So when I joined 10 Alytics, trust me, it's the best place to be. I gained an in-depth knowledge of some of these tools that are being used in tech. For example, Power BI, Excel, how to create a dashboard, how to make connections through pivot tables. Like, trust me, I learned a whole lot. So I was able, when I went for my interviews, I was able to apply the practical knowledge I gained from 10 Alytics. I was able to apply it to my interviews. And to my surprise, I got the job. Like, I landed a job as a compensation analyst, and this felt like a perfect fit for me, and it's a good start. So yeah, I would say 10 Alytics is the best place to be, and is the best place to learn, all the tech things you need to know. Thank you.
fantastic. So, that was a very detailed introduction of the Lakers. That shows, the excitement that you currently have having gotten that job as a competition analyst, like you mentioned. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Unfortunately, I'm quite sad though that we can't see you, but of course, I do understand. Okay, so thank you very much for that introduction, Billy.
Okay, I'll just show my
Hello.
face quickly. 1 second.
Okay. All right.
That's okay.
I think that'll be great. That'll be fantastic, really. Okay.
Okay,
So
also,
while
sir.
Billy keeps saying
Yeah,
hi
so
to
this
us,
is Belikis. Yeah. I don't
okay,
know. Can you guys
can
see
just
me? Hello.
okay. Oh, fantastic. Hello, Billy.
Hi.
Thank you very
Hello,
much.
everyone.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
giving us this privilege. I would say because now you're a superstar, so we should. Yeah, thank you very much, Billy. Thank you so much.
Thank
Okay.
you too.
So yeah. Hello, Oyefikayo. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Can you hear me clearly?
Loud and clear, loud and clear. I can
Okay,
see you.
that's good.
You're Texas already, so you have the mic, you have the headset. Oh,
Yes,
one
yes.
plan. The gadget is complex already, so that's fantastic. So, do you want to introduce yourself quickly, what you do, and so we get to know you?
Okay, my name is Oifika Additional. I'm a business solutions analyst. I got to know 10Alytics through one of Efemina's funny Instagram posts. That one that tells you, come, 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 don't go, come here, don't scroll, you know? And actually, that advert came at the right time in my life, really, because I've been in finance all my years, well over 15 years. But I got to that point, like I felt I was not, I was, I didn't feel that fulfillment in finance anymore. So I wanted to change.
Yeah,
And at that point, I just spoke with a friend of mine, and she was like, "Oh, she left finance a long time ago. She's now a data analyst." I was like, "What? What did you say? How did you get there from finance?" She said, "No." So I started, I won't lie about it. I started like more like self-learning. But yeah, and my friend really helped me. But I knew I was missing something. I needed that real life experience and that practical. I just needed that thing that would make me feel fulfilled. And that was how I stumbled on Seminar's video. I was skeptical at first. I was like, I hope this is not a scam. I don't want trouble in this economy. Nobody should not with my money, all those kind of things. But I just had that spirit, positive spirit, like, yeah, go for this thing. Even if they go away with your money, God will bless you with it. When I applied, you needed to see how I was following up on my payments. Acknowledge my payments. Make sure all those kind of things. Just to be sure I was in the right place, right? So you can't blame me. But later I felt comfortable when I got all the lectures and everything. But when the lecture started, I was like, okay, Fikayo, thank God you didn't apply when you were self-studying, because apparently there is a difference between what I learned or
yeah.
what I did myself and being with the analytics. And right from the first class, I knew I was in the right place. I knew I made the right decision, right? Because the classes were very interactive. The lecturers or the instructors, like, they never give up. They're always there and always ready to answer your questions. Watch me do it videos are very, very, very educative and very, like, even with the watch me do it videos, sincerely, for me, I think you can, even after watching everything, you can apply for a job. Sincerely, that's how resourceful those videos were to me. And also the weekday classes, the employability sessions, like all those things. I remember there was a point in the class or one of the sessions that told us you can start applying. Okay, let me start. I joined the June cohort. So, I think from maybe July or so, you can apply. Start applying. My mind was like, apply with what? People should stop deceiving us, please. But, then I joined one of the, I think, employability classes. I can't remember. I know it was done on the weekday. And the person that came, I think it was an ex-student as well. The way the guy came, I
Yeah.
joined, I started. After that call, I was like, okay, Fikayo, at least they won't kill me. The worst they can say is no, we won't shortlist you. They won't come and put a gun to my head like, why did you apply? Then I started applying. I won't lie to you. When I started applying, I applied to 4 jobs and 3 of them called me for an interview. And I was able to do my resume with one of the CV review sessions I watched, and they taught us how to use ChatGPT for your CV. And I can tell you for a fact, like, after watching that video, like today, if I do anything with ChatGPT, I will still pass that AI detector. Forget about it. Like, that's how well that session was. Like, this is how to do it. They give us a resume you can edit to suit what you want, everything. So when I wanted to start the class, let me go back to the beginning again. When I wanted to start, like I said, I started data analytics on my own. Then I was
You
like,
know what?
okay,
You know what? Let's hold on for it, Oyifikaya. Okay.
okay.
It's like this is so exciting. This is so exciting. I think at those points, you are about to start answering some of the questions that I have for you, which you're gonna
Oh,
say end up answering later on.
okay.
Okay, but this is a fantastic. I'm sure everyone on the call can see the excitement, and I say see this time because you both are glowing really. From taking the decision to go ahead to register for the course, to take your classes. You mentioned something about the watch video videos. Having getting 4 different interviews. I'm sorry, 3 different interviews. I think
Three.
you mentioned
Yes.
3 different interviews. That's a lot. And some persons on the call right now, they are like, is it really possible? Is it really possible? All of those things are things, they are like telltales. Yeah, we listen, we hear, but we don't judge. I guess that's what's trending right now.
We listen, we don't judge.
Yeah, we listen, we hear, but that is not the case for us. And to see both of you having been able to transition, that's fantastic. Okay, so moving to my next question, and I'd like to begin with you, Yepika, before we move to Belikis. I know that you mentioned a thing or two. You talked about the fact that at first you actually did you did self learning before you went ahead to register. But I would just want to know, okay, so what made you decide after you were learning yourself, what made you decide that, okay, I need something more, I need something different, I need, maybe like you mentioned, real life case, cases. What was that thing that just made, okay, if you Kyle, you need to get into this program?
I think I would say, did I say security? I was not sure of myself. I was not sure of myself. Like, am I learning the right thing? Okay, then another thing is, I went like those days. I would go into like just check job vacancies randomly for data analysis, and like the things they wanted, like the English. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. What they wrote is this what they mean? It's. But I just needed that reassurance. And what I got from 10Alytics is more than reassurance. I got the full package, everything, confidence. That's what I got. So that's the difference. And I learned in it. So apparently, what I was self-studying with Udemy, YouTube videos was just the scratch, right? So that's the difference.
Fantastic, fantastic. Saying that, I it just made me remember. So and Adeza, we're having a conversation. I believe Adeza has also mentioned this in some of the sessions. Now, when he was looking to transition from data analytics when he was looking to transition from energy into data analytics, at first there was really no guidance. So he had to learn this, he had to learn that, he had to learn this. Took over 2 years for him to be able to transition because you're learning all of the tools that are not really relevant, tools that you're at the end of the day you're not going to work with when you eventually do get a job. And so that's one of the reasons why we started analytics, to give that guidance that, okay, this is what you need to learn, this is what you need to know, this is what would help you get that job. And I'm glad that you were a part of that experience, Kyle. Thank you very much.
You're
Billy, I would
welcome.
also like to hear from you. So, do you have a similar story to Oyefikayo, or why did you decide to join the program?
Like I mentioned earlier, the main reason why I joined the program was because I needed to learn those exceptional skills that was needed in the job market over here. Like I said, that the main reason why I came to 10Alytics was to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL, because I went on YouTube. Like I said, YouTube is just like, it's just a surface learning. It doesn't give you that in-depth knowledge. Like, it doesn't give you that in-depth learning space. It's just like surface, that it's a surface learning. And also, when you're watching these videos, you can't even ask questions. Sometimes I get confused, I get stuck, when I'm following up. But with 10Alytics, you have people you can interact with, you have your coaches, you have the tutors, you have people you can talk to when you're stuck, and you even have your colleagues. I would say 10Alytics also helped me develop some relationships. I was able to meet other people from different fields, like, I mean, intelligent people, and we're able to work together as a team. So sometimes, when we're stuck somewhere, I was able to learn some things, like even some things that were not even taught in class. I learned from some colleagues, funny enough. So yeah, I would say, yeah, that was why I joined 10Alytics. The main reason was, just to get that practical knowledge, that practical experience in those tools that are needed in the job market. Thank you.
Get the tools and the knowledge needed in the job market. I really love the fact. I know I've said love so many times. I think that's like my most used phrase for the past couple of minutes now. but that's due to the conversation we're having right now. And yes, I really love the fact that you guys were able to make the transition. You mentioning, and Oyefika also talking about this as well. Anton project, you also talked about the community and the full package. really, the full package. That's what we do offer. And yeah, so it's great. It's really great. I know that this is just the start and that there's going to be a whole lot more. Like we always say, it's easier to get your second role if maybe you're looking to even make another transition later on when you've gotten that test. Because that test is you trying to break into the space. And both of you have done that successfully. Fantastic. Okay. So and I still have another question. I would like to know. So when it comes to the entire, like, the I know we talked about this, that's the real world case studies, how they help our learning experience, how they helped us with what this is what we need to know. But what was the interview like? This question will go to Beliki, so I'd like to hear from Beliki first of all. So what was the interview like? Were you asked questions based on what you learned during the class, or were they just random questions?
Honestly, I'll I'll tell you, 60% of the questions were things I learned in class. Because when I went for the interview, on the job description, they put it there that they needed people with advanced Excel, and even put it there if you don't have that skill, please do not apply. And also they needed people who had knowledge in Power BI or Tableau or SQL. So, during the question, it was very technical in the sense that they were just asking me some technical questions. Or so if you have this scenario, so how do you do this? How do you create these relationships? So, I was able to use those technical words I learned in class. I was able to, put it in. I was able to utilize these words in the interview, because they don't need those generic words. They need to hear those technical terms. For example, how do you do this? Oh, I can definitely use a VLOOKUP, or I can, for example, maybe I can easily use the sum ifs. They just need to hear those technical words in Excel just to make sure what what you're talking about, because anyone could just come and say, oh yeah, I know Excel. But it was very technical, and I was able to apply all the things I learned in class. I was able to apply this during the interview, and it worked for me. Thank you.
All right. I think Isa is muted at a point in time. Okay, let me just I don't know for you. The interview like for you during your own interview process.
Could you say that again? I didn't catch that.
Yeah, the same question, Biliki.
Yeah, I
Sorry,
don't know if
sorry
you
about
guys
that.
heard
Please, can
me.
you make me co-host, Elijah?
The
That's
training.
my other account, please.
Aisha, what did you say?
Please, can you make me co-host? That's my other account. You
Okay,
notice
good.
that yeah.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. So finally, I was able to switch back. Okay, so I heard everything you said, Belikis. Thank you very much. And again, apologies about that. So I just had to make. I'm sure maybe my notice that my camera is different. That was probably what, but that was probably Shapa. Okay, so maybe you might notice that that's because I'm currently on another device. So yeah, I've been having some glitches here and there. But thank you very much for that, Bilikis. So yeah, so the as Bilikis mentioned, the interview was, it was technical. They wanted you to use those words. So we need someone that can work with Excel, not just any kind of Excel, but advanced Excel. So if you don't even have and do you know the funny thing? I don't know if you had if you had this knowledge before, Bilikis. Some persons think that Excel is just it's your Microsoft Word. That Excel is like your Microsoft Word, but for numbers.
Oh,
All right.
no,
So
no,
just
it's
like you have your
very
Microsoft Word for typing letters, the Excel is Microsoft Word, but it's for typing numbers, for arranging tables, just like a spreadsheet software. And
I
I really don't know
know.
that. It's a whole lot. I can see
You
on your
do data
is like, no,
cleaning and all
those guys
that.
don't know what they're talking what they're talking about,
Yeah.
right? So do you want to comment on that, Bilikis? Then I'll also let Oyefikayo comment on that because I can see she's raring to go. Okay. So what do you
Yeah,
think
I'll
about
be
those
gone in
persons that have
5 minutes.
that kind of a belief that, oh, that Excel is just one of those Microsoft tools?
Trust me, Excel is not one of those Microsoft tools. I never knew till I joined the training. Excel is very, very deep in the sense that it's just too deep. It's not something you just put in numbers or you just say, oh, probably I know how to multiply or times. Like sometimes you get some files that are like in CSV, for example. Like one of the questions they asked me, they were like, if you get a file in CSV, how are you able to clean this data? So, data cleaning too is one thing. It's something different entirely. So, Excel is not just on the surface. It has there are a lot of functions, like a lot of things that comes with Excel that if you don't have someone to teach you, trust me, it's so hard to know these things. It's very, very difficult. So Excel is not just that surface thing anyone thinks. It's very, very deep, deeper than you think.
Yeah, it's not just that surface too. Oyefikayo, what did you learn with Excel? Because you're like, no, no. I'm sure what you can do with Excel right now, it's very close to science and wonders.
No, what you said made me laugh. Like just input numbers, Excel. No way. Excel is way, way more useful than that. It's really advanced. And I must confess, when I joined the class and they started all the, like, you can even use Excel to do the data analysis. Like, there's a tab that you click on that gives you data analysis, a lot of functions. Most times I remember then, I think it was, I can't remember the name of the person that took us Excel. I was always like opening my mouth, like, hold on. So we can do this in Excel. We can do this in Excel. And I will go back to Feminia's watch me doing videos to go and watch it again. Like, okay, really? Okay, then I'll pause. I'll do it. Pause again. Do it, like step by step. That's why the watch me do it videos are really, really good. You can go at your own pace. If you go by the number of times I paused those videos, it's enough for a Femina to be stammering right now. I'm telling you, by the number of the times I pause the video, like, okay, because I would like to be practicing it while, watching those videos. I'll just open another one to start it. So I'll pause, and at every point, it was really, really good for me. I really enjoyed it. It was really good. And Excel is like, I don't know how to say it, way more advanced than people think. But stay tuned. When you join analytics, you know everything.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Ifika. So yes, Excel is a whole lot more than that. So for those of us that might be wondering that, oh, Excel is just a tool that, like I said, the Microsoft Word, but for Microsoft Word, but for numbers, it's not that. I'm glad that the Watch Me Do It videos, that they were actually videos. So Efremina did not have to repeat himself 100 times. That's the number of times he had to go through those videos. But yeah, I'm glad that we all that we've seen that these tools are actually capable of a whole lot more. As you can see, an organization said, oh, we need someone that is very good in Excel, understand advanced Excel. That's to tell us that Excel is not just the basics. It's not just what we thought we knew or what we think it's all about. It's a whole lot more than that. So I would like to take access just one more question, because I understand that I believe that we have meetings. Bilikis mentioned that she's actually currently at work. And Oyefika, I believe that you have a meeting in a couple of minutes. So you guys are superstars right now. Now we have to pay for your time now. Okay, so I'll just take one more question so we can go back to whatever it is that that we were doing previously. So what advice do you have for others? People on the call right now that are like, oh, I want to be like Oyefikayo, I want to be like Bilikis, I want to do this, I want to transition. At the moment, what I'm doing, I'm not really saying career growth. At the moment, what I'm doing, I'm just doing this to get by. but I want to move into tech, get something good, work remotely, get a career that I know that, okay, I'm earning well, and in the next, let's say 2 years, 3 years, I can see me moving somewhere else, like moving to the next stage. So what advice do you have for them? So I'll begin with Oyefikayo, and then we end with Abilikis.
Okay, for me, my advice would be one, you need to know what you want to do, right? Because there are a lot of options. Then so be determined, have that I can do spirit, and stay focused. I think that's so far you are in the right place, like 10Alytics. Those are the things. Stay focused, stay determined, and know what you want to do and go for it. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Oyefikayo says, I can do spirit. I can do spirit. So that's something that she had, and that's something that each and every one of us should have as well. Thank you very much for that, Oyefikayo. Bilikis, what about you? What's your advice for others that are looking to make that switch, the switch that you made?
Yeah, first of all, I would say have a goal and have a plan. And one thing that makes one successful is having passion for whatever you do. So when you're passionate about it, when you put in so much effort and, it involves continuous learning, trust me, you'll get there. And when don't give up. I know sometimes, it might be daunting, maybe when you're looking for a job, it can be so frustrating. You might get those rejection emails, but just keep pushing it. Trust me, that job is around the corner waiting for you. Thank you.
Just keep pushing, and just keep pushing some more. Thank you very much, Belikis. Thank you very much, Oyefikayo, for taking out the time. I know at the start I had some technical glitches. I really don't know what happened today, but I'm glad we were able to have a fantastic conversation. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to you doing even more amazing things, because we know that this is just the start. I guess what our parents used to say is that the sky is it used to be the sky's your limit. Now it's the sky's your starting point. Yeah, and that is the case for both of you. Thank you very much for joining us. All right, everyone. So we've heard from Oyefikayo and we've heard from Belikis on how they were able to make that switch. And you too, you can make that switch. And I'm talking to each and every one of you. I'm speaking to each and every one of you. I'm speaking to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you can make that switch. You're looking to make that switch into tech. You want to learn data analytics, business analysis, agile project management. You want to make a switch into tech, and you're wondering, is it possible? Should I go ahead and try to make that switch? Will I succeed? Because we might be scared and we're wondering, should I take the leap? Yes, you should, Emmanuel, because you've seen people that have done this, and you yourself can do this. And I'm speaking to you as well, Ruth. Okay, Sam, Solomon, and each and every one of you on the call. At 10Alytics, we've been able to help over 2,500 individuals, 2,500 professionals, 2,500 transition from the classroom to getting their first job in tech, their first role in tech. This is what we've been doing. And the reason for this success is because we know what works. Okay, we know what works. Oyefikayo mentioned something about the CV review session, on how she was able to tailor her CV to the job description. That is something you'll be getting. But then, now that we've seen that it is actually possible for us to make the switch, now that we've seen that it is possible for us to go ahead and get that role, for us to go ahead to learn the skills and, of course, at the end of the day, transition, how can we get started? Okay, how can we get started? So, should I move to the left? Should I move to the right? Should I go with business analysis because Billy Keys went through our business analysis program, or should I go with data? Should I go with data science? That's from Oyefikayo. Which role? Where should I go to? Left, right, left, right, left, right, center. What should I go get into? Oh, I'm thinking of going to data engineering. Should I do that? I'm looking at moving to cybersecurity. Should I do that? We are going to dissect all of these together and would identify the role that is best for you and how you can succeed in that role, not just how you can go ahead to learn the skills. No. But how you can go ahead to learn the skills. And of course, at the end of the day, you transition and you eventually get that job. Because that is what we are all about. You being able to transition, not just you learning the skills. but you transitioning by getting that role. For you to be able to transition at the moment, let's say at the moment let's say you work in customer care rep, or maybe you're a teacher, you're a doctor, and you're looking to make a switch into tech. What are the different areas? What are the different steps you would need to take? What are the different things you would need to do? What is going to be that gap, that chasm that you would need to cross that would take you from point A to point Z where you need to be? They've been broken down into 6 different steps. Nothing much, just 6. And we will take a look at each and every one of the steps and what you need to do. Starting with step 1, identifying your desired career. You need to know what you want to do. It's simple. Before you get into anything, you first of all need to know, this is what I want to do. Oh, I want to be a data scientist, or I want to be a data analyst. I want to be a financial analyst, or I want to be a HR analyst. You need to get that done. You need to get that sorted out. And then you go ahead to learn the skills. After learning the skills, you gain project-based experience. Over here, when we get to this point, would really see why project-based experience. Okay, would really see how you can break that experience. You know what? Just stay tuned. I got you. Okay, I got you. So then would also take a look at you gaining employability skills, because it's one thing for you to have the skills. It's one thing for you to be able to do the job. And it's something entirely different for a recruiter to believe that you can do the job. It's one thing for you to have the skills. So it's one thing for you to know how to write Python code, how to work with Excel. We've talked about Excel a whole lot. It's one thing for you to be able to do that. It's something else entirely, something entirely different for a recruiter to believe that you can do that and to go ahead to employ you. So what do you need? Employability skills. But we'll get there. And then also networking. You need to be able to network, because networking will provide with opportunities that if not for networks, if not for you having a good network, you would not get. And then of course we have mentorship. Be mentored. Everyone talks about mentorship every day. I think I get I don't know the number of requests I get every day on LinkedIn. Okay, oh please, can I be mentored? Can I be mentored? I want you to mentor me. So everyone needs mentorship. Okay, everyone needs mentorship. It's very, very big. It's a big thing, because you need someone that has been able to succeed where you're looking to succeed, that will take you through what they did right, that helped them to succeed. So you get to do those things, and so you succeed. And they will take you through things that they probably did wrong, that delayed their success. So you don't do those things, so your success is not delayed. We're gonna dissect all of those things. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step over to step 6. We would see how you can implement all of these things, like I mentioned. And for you to get access to the recordings, for you to get access to the materials, because at the end of the day, you might want to go through what I've mentioned. You might want to listen to Yefikaya's and Biliki's story again. You might want to go through, so how can I select my desired path? For you to get access to the materials, for you to get access to the recordings, something that you need to do is to fill the attendance form. Very, very important. So if you know that you want those resources, so go ahead to click on that link. So my colleague has been sending the link to the chat box. Okay, so click on that link and fill in the form, and you will get access to all of the materials. Great. But now, let's do some dissecting. Starting with identifying your desired career. For you to identify your desired career, there are some things that you need to take a look at. Because in tech, there are so many career paths in tech. In tech, you have the software developer, you have the blockchain developer, you have the technical writer, you have the product designer, you have the data analyst, you have the cybersecurity analyst. So many roles: the backend engineer, the front-end engineer, you have the AI specialist, you have so many roles. And many of us, all we know is that we want to get into tech. We want to live the good life. We want to be able to make the Benjamins, be able to get your wants just as you can get your needs. So we know we want to get into tech. But what area of tech? That is not so clear. For all I mentioned earlier, okay, when I introduced 10Alytics, I mentioned that our goal, what we do is to help you transition into tech, to help you move from what you're doing at the moment to what you want to do. And so when we decided to when we decided to start analytics, there are so many things that we put in place over this year, something that we did at the start of this year to ensure that each and every one of you have the right careers. Because what we are looking at is not just you learning the skills, like I said, but you being able to transition into getting that job. So what areas are in high demand? What tech skills can you get that you know that, oh, you can easily get a job, and that's not just any job, but a high-paying one at that? So we did our research because we're a data company. So we went ahead to scrape different job boards from LinkedIn to Indeed to Glassdoor to Total Jobs, CV Library, Monster, Google Jobs, and a whole lot of others that we can really not place on, on this little box. After analyzing all of this, after scraping those jobs, all right, what did we take a look at? We took a look at those jobs that were in high demand. Now, what do I mean by in high demand? We took a look at those jobs that fell in 3 categories. I'm going to start again so we understand the step-by-step process. The first thing we did is that we scraped jobs. We scraped jobs from all of these different job boards. That's having a database. All of the jobs are in that database. Tech jobs. All right, but there are so many tech jobs. So which is right for you? Which would it be easy for you to transition into? Based on that, we now carry that data analysis based on 3 key criteria. Number 1 being ease of learning, number 2 being ease of transitioning, and number 3 being high and rewarding salaries. In the jobs that we found, the jobs we scraped, these 3 criteria for the jobs we selected, the career paths we selected, these 3 criteria had to be a part of them. There were some jobs some career paths that, okay, it's easy to learn, but it's not easy to transition into. There were some it's easy to transition, but it's not easy to learn. There were some that it's easy to transition, easy to learn, but the pay is not so, it's not the balling kind of pay. But what does ease of learning mean? Does ease of learning means that you are going to go ahead to learn your ABCs and your 1, 2, 3s, like back in preschool? That it's just going to be easy. All I need to do is just close my eyes and I already then I've learned the skill. No, ease of learning is talking about skills that you can learn in 4 months, 5 months tops. You get what you need and you are able to use that to transition. Oyefikayo and Bilekis, the career paths that they chose, the programs that they went through, they were just for what? For 3 months, 2 months of learning and 1 month of internship. 3 months of learning and 1 month of internship. Ease of learning, getting what you need. We're talking about advanced Excel, whereby, oh, your first class, second class, third class, you are already able to understand everything that you need to know about advanced analytics with Excel. Ease of learning is talking about the fact that all you need to know, you can get it in 4 months, 5 months tops, like I mentioned. That is ease of learning. And in number 2, we have what? We have ease of transitioning. Now, what is ease of transitioning? Ease of transitioning is, okay, what jobs do I need to, ease of transitioning is based on 2 things, okay? Based on 2 things. The first is, which of these jobs do I not really need to have some sort of background? Oh, like maybe you need to have studied this in school, or you need to have done this before. That's, oh, I really don't need to have some sort of background to be able to get a job. Which of them? And then the second criteria in ease of transitioning was talking about which of these jobs which of these career paths do we have so many job openings that you can decide to apply to as many jobs as possible. That is, we have a lot we have lots and lots of roles available. Because you don't want to go ahead to get to you don't want to go ahead to transition to a role where you have just 2 roles available and you have 100 individuals trying to apply for those two roles, but rather a role where you have like 1,000,000 opportunities and you have something like maybe 400,000 people looking to get 1,000,000 opportunities. That means there's a role for everyone. So the ease of transitioning, that was something that we took a look at. And the basis for this was that we took a look at those jobs that there was nothing less than 100 new roles uploaded to the job boards every single day. So you go to the job boards today. Let's say you pick a job board like read.co.uk. You go on read.co.uk and then you search for a role like data analyst. And then you go to the filter and filter for roles that were uploaded just today, that you will find nothing less than 100. And then when you come to the site tomorrow, when you go to the site tomorrow and you search for new roles and you search for new roles, you find over 100 new roles that were just uploaded tomorrow, that will be uploaded tomorrow. So every day you have more roles uploaded. Now tell me, is it possible for you to apply to 100 roles a day? Is it possible? It's not really possible. It's not feasible. That means that you can apply to as many roles as you want. There will always be more opportunities to apply to, because the reality of things is that the more you apply, the better your chances of you getting the job. And the third thing we took a look at was high and rewarding salaries. Career paths that you can earn well. I always say this, that for one, I believe that your needs, your wants, your wants, you want to get, you want to buy a pair of shoes that cost over $1,000, okay, without batting an eye, if you want to, of course, okay, that you can go ahead to get your wants, and not just your wants, that you can also easily get your needs. That's why I call high rewarding salaries, because you can get your needs, not just your needs, but also your wants, because I believe that your wants are equally as important as your needs. You want to be able to flex. So the career paths that we notice that fall in these 3 categories, we are your business analyst, your agile project manager or your scrum master, data analyst, data scientist, data engineer, cybersecurity analyst, financial analyst, and HR analyst. There are some other roles like, for example, the software developer. The software developer falls under ease of transitioning. What does ease of transitioning mean? It means that if you have the skills, there are so many opportunities. There are so many startup organizations nowadays. Many startups need some sort of application and they need you to build some sort of website. So if you're good, getting a job should not be difficult because there are so many opportunities out there. That's ease of transitioning. So software developer fell in the second category. And then high rewarding salary, of course, it also fell in that category. But the first one, ease of learning, it did not qualify. And why was that? Because for you to learn software, for you to be a good software developer, you need to spend at least 12 to 16 months to learn the skills, to learn your different languages, starting with your HTML, okay, which is more of a text script, and then you move to your CSS, your JavaScript, and then you start learning your things like your PHP, especially when you want to be a front end and a back end, a front end and a back end developer. That's a full stack developer. Nothing less than 12 to 16 months. And 12 to 16 months is saying that you are very diligent, like you are always practicing, always attending classes, and that you're not taking a break. So it fell under ease of transitioning and high rewarding salary, but not ease of learning. Another example was robotics. Robotics is a tech skill. Okay, it's a career path in tech. Robotics falls under ease of transitioning. If you know robotics, like just like that, just like that. Okay, and then high rewarding salary, of course, but ease of learning, really not the case. And then we had some other career paths that fell under ease of learning. It was easy to learn, but the opportunities were not so, the opportunities were not so much, but the salary was good. The only part that we saw that fell under this three categories. I mentioned ease of learning, ease of transitioning, and rewarding salaries. But are these 8 career paths you can see on your screen? So these are the 8 career paths you should be looking to choose from if you are looking to get into tech and your goal is to get a job as quickly as possible. If you're with me, I want you to send a 1 to the chat box. I believe we're enjoying the story so far. Okay? Even though you're with me, send a 1 to the chat box. Send a 1 to the chat box. Okay, fantastic. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. All right, thank you, Ara. Thank you, Saratin. Thank you, Fisayo Me. All right, fantastic. Good to know that we're following. But I need more responses, okay? Oh, fantastic. Now we're getting the responses. Great. Excellent. Bravo. Okay, so that is the story. That is how we're able to choose, okay, this 8 career path. But there's something we realized. We actually know this, but then we realized again. Yes, I could say, I could put it that way, okay? The thing about data, the thing about research, the thing about analysis is that sometimes when you're carrying out analysis for yourself, when you're carrying out research for yourself, you could be a tiny bit, just a tiny bit biased. It's for yourself. It's just like, let's say what kind of example can I use now? Okay, let's say you want to get a plate of food. All right, and you're supposed to get just a plate. It's your food. You are the one that cooked the food. It's not someone else's. It's yours, and you're supposed to get just a plate of food. So when you go to the kitchen, and then you're supposed to get maybe just a plate, and you're so hungry, then you could take a plate and then you just add a little bit, okay, just a little bit, because you feel, oh, it's yours after all. So that's you being somewhat biased to yourself. But let's say you were serving the food to someone else, maybe a stranger, and it's supposed to be a plate. It will just be a plate. Okay, so that's the best analogy I can use right now. Maybe moving on, I might come up with a better analogy. But what am I saying? We've realized that, okay, so we're carrying this analysis for us, we're carrying out this research for us, but why don't we try to get an external body, a body that is not related to 10Alytics at the moment, that has nothing to do with what we are doing, that has carried out a similar research for us to see if what they found out is similar to what we found out, and for us to know if we're on the right path. And regarding that, we came across the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum releases a report called the Future of Job Report every 2 years. All right. The next report is going to come in. So the last report was for 2023 to 2027. Okay, all right. So this is a report that can be gotten anywhere. So all you need to do if you want to see the report, you can download it from here as soon as you click on. You can download it from here as soon as you click on. As soon as you get access to the materials. All right, and then you can also just go on your browser and search for future of jobs. All right, and then you get access to this. So what does the future of job report show us? The full report is about 297 pages. It's a long read, but what we're interested in is on page 30. On page 30, we can see by the left, all right, by the left, you see the jobs that are in high demand at the moment, and that they would only increase in terms of opportunities. And then by the right, you have those jobs that will decrease. So what we're interested in are the jobs by the left. And what do we have here? We can see things like your AI and machine learning specialist, your business intelligence specialist, and your data analyst and scientist. These 3 roles are actually roles that you can function in as a data analyst or as a data scientist, because many organizations use synonyms, use different titles to refer to the same job role. So what we can see here is that data analysts and scientists are in high demand right now, and that they are going to be in high demand in the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years. We also saw cybersecurity, which is the information security analyst, the big data specialist, and the data engineers, the database architects, which are all data engineering roles. We have the business analyst, which is a process automation specialist. We have the database and network professionals, which is the data engineers and cybersecurity again. The project managers, which is a special kind of project management, not just your traditional project management, but actually talking about the Agile project management. That falls under your Agile Scrum project management. And then we have the financial analyst. And over here, you can also see the supply chain and logistics specialist, which is actually a data analyst and scientist role. This is not a report or a research that was carried out by 10Alytics. This is not something that we did. This is something that we found. And this backs up the research that we carried out that showed us the 8 parts that it's easy to learn. It's easy for you to get a job because there are so many opportunities, as the World Economic Forum has stated, and that you have high and rewarding salaries. So when you are looking to choose a path, pick from one of these 8 because you would not be picking wrongly. And the sweet thing about this 8 career paths is that if you go ahead to learn data analytics, you don't only work as a data analyst. All right. One of the participants that one of our alumni that spoke earlier, that talked about, she mentioned she's currently working as a compensation analyst. That's what I'm talking about, Bilikis. All right. Now Bilikis went through a business analysis program. Okay, went through a business analysis program. All of the skills I've had I think for this we had another participant. All right, she got a job. I think that's a big caller, if I'm not mistaken. So she got a job as a machine learning specialist, and she went through a full stack data science program. Now, what am I trying to say? The fact that you go ahead to learn business analysis does not mean that you can only work as a business analyst. The fact that you go ahead to learn data analytics does not mean that you can only work as a data analyst. There are so many opportunities because many organizations, what they do is that they use different, let's say, many organizations, what they do is that they use different synonyms, different job titles to refer to a certain role. So a data analyst that focuses on analyzing things like your ads, things like your ads, like your promotions, could be called a digital product analyst. A business analyst that is in charge of automating your business processes, ensuring that your processes are optimized, we could be called a process analyst. A HR analyst could be called a people's operations analyst, and so many more. So when you go ahead to learn any of this part, it's not like those career paths where you just learn this and that's the only thing you can do. For example, let's say, what example should I use now? Okay, so let's say maybe you learn, so let's say you're a lawyer. Now, apologies if you're a lawyer in the house, okay? So I may not be disrespect, but let's say you're a lawyer. Now, as a lawyer, yes, you can work in other areas, but your skills as a lawyer only applies in what? In the court. As a lawyer, you can have other skills that you can use, that you can work with in other places, no problem. But your lawyer skill set, your knowledge of law only applies in the courts. It's court or nothing. But that is not the case for each and every one of these roles. So that means that if you don't work as a data analyst, you'd work as a business intelligence analyst. If not, you work as a marketing analyst. If not, you work as a sales analyst. If not, you work as a logistic analyst, and so much more. So these are the 8 paths that you should choose from. And now that you've selected the career path, what next? We'll get into that. But something else that I would like you to take a look at was that we took a look at a prediction that showed us that 46% of companies plan to increase salaries in the year 2025. We're almost in the year 2025. We are already in the month of December. A couple of weeks from now, and everyone is going to say, "Oh, Happy New Year!" And then we are going to have not firecrackers, but yeah, I think they're called firecrackers. Of what are those things that go up and okay, they go up and they explode? Firecrackers, I believe. But yeah, so it's almost gonna be the new year, and everyone would go with the fireworks. Thank you very much, Abby. Okay, thank you, Abby. Yeah, so fireworks. All right. So when it's the new year, and then we have the fireworks, and then it goes up, and everyone shouts, "Oh, Happy New Year, Happy New Year!" So we're almost in the new year, and what we've seen is that 46% of companies are going to increase salaries. And the salaries they're increasing are for those in what? In the tech sector. In the tech sector. And why? Why are they trying to increase salaries? They want to stay competitive in the hiring market and attract skilled talent. Now, I want us to think about this. A food for thought, as they say. If you have many people vying for a role, many qualified people to be exact, vying for a role, and you have less roles available, would you be increasing salaries? I'm going to rephrase that so we get a picture. Okay, you have more, you have many roles. Okay, you know what? I think I should use my pen, all right, to make an illustration. Okay, but what am I saying? You want to employ, let's say you have a million people looking to get just 2 roles or just 3 roles you have opened in the organization. Would you increase salaries? Would you increase salaries for that role people are looking to get into? Do you understand? Do you understand the analogy I'm painting? I'll repeat myself. I said, you have a million applicants trying to get just 2 jobs or 5 jobs or 10 jobs or even 100 jobs. Would you increase the salaries of those 100 jobs? The answer is no. No way. Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Thank you, Ibrahim. No, that's the answer. You would not. Why? Because you will find someone that's gonna get into the role even if you increase salaries or not. Because there are so many people looking to get that opportunity. But when the reverse is the case, that you have 5 roles opened up, or you have 10 roles opened up, and you only have 5 qualified individuals. Say you could have so many people trying to get a role, but really qualified individuals, you have just like, let's say, 5. Would you increase the opportunity? Would you increase the salaries? Would you try to make the roles more lucrative? The answer is yes, because you want to attract the best talent to yourself, because you know there's a shortage of talent and that other organizations are trying to get that same talent. So what do? You try to make your own offer more lucrative, more sumptuous for people to be attracted to your company instead of another. That is what is happening right now. At the start of the year, the start of 2024, France released the report. And what did France say? At the start of the year, that's sometime in January, okay? France released the report. And what did the report say? The report said that France was experiencing a shortage, okay? A shortage in tech talent. France was experiencing a shortage in tech talent. What does that mean? There are so many opportunities available, but not enough qualified individuals. It's due to this reason that when you go on job sites, you find, for example, a role of a business analyst. You find over 100 business analyst roles uploaded per day. New roles being opened up per day. And this is just one job board, just one. When you go to another job board, you're going to see new roles. So that is why they're looking, employers are going to increase salaries, looking to stay what? Competitive and to attract the skilled talent. So why don't you want to be a part of the talent that employers are looking to attract? And you can read more on this. You know, there's the link is over here. All you need to do is click on that and it will take you to the article so you can read it up. For you to get access to the slides again, don't forget to fill the attendance form so you get access to all of these things. But that is the story. That is the story. So now that we've been able to take a look at the 8 different career paths that are lucrative, that you should be looking to get into. What is the next thing you need to do to learn the skills? You said, I want this. You said, I want that. The next thing is to learn how to do this. The next thing is to learn how to do that. And how do you learn? By using a combined approach. Oyefikaya talked about the Watch Me Do It videos. I'm sure we're wondering, what is for Watch Me Do It videos? When she was talking about the Watch Me Do It videos. And she mentioned something. And what was that? She said that with the Watch Me Do It videos alone, she believes that with the Watch Me Do It videos alone, you can watch them and you would not even need to go to class, which I don't advise anyway. So please ensure you go to class. But the videos are enough for you to get the skills that you need to get a job. The Watch Me Do It videos are in the 10Alytics LMS, the learning management system. Because as soon as you register, you get access to the LMS. So we have a dual learning approach. So you get to learn, for you to get the skills to learn using the dual learning approach, where you learn with instructor-led classes. For example, the kind of conversation we're having now. So you're in the call with a facilitator, you're working on problems, you're working on projects, you're asking questions, you're gaining experience, you're learning the skills, you're doing fantastically well. You're doing all of that in class. And then during the week, you get to watch the videos in the 10Alytics LMS that would introduce you to concepts you will be learning in the next class. Working on projects, remember she mentioned that she had to go over the Excel videos so many times, okay? Working on projects, gaining the skills, and then during the next class, you'd now work on more projects based on what you learned in the videos. So if you are a slow learner, you are the kind of person that you want to watch videos, you want to be able to take the videos back 5 times, no problem, you are good to go. And if you're the kind of person that you want to have that interaction with someone, you want someone to tell you, this is what you need to do, that is what you need to do, absolutely no problem, you are good to go. So with this two approach, you get to learn the skills, not just learn the skills, you get to be so good at them. You get to be able to speak in technical jargons, not just speak in technical jargons, but be able to be able to carry out the technical project. Go in an interview, ace it, because you have not just learned the skills, you're also good at them. But now you've learned the skills. What is the next thing? The next thing is you getting a portfolio. The next thing is you gaining experience. But let's take a look at this. This or that. Let's say you have, so you can, this is a very practical example. All right. Let's say your car, you're having issues with your car. So maybe you drive a Rolls Royce, or maybe you have a Ferrari or a Bugatti, you know, all of those supercars. Your car is fantastic, like mine. Okay. I car in my garage. Okay. Anyways, so let's say you have a fantastic car, and then there's something wrong with your car, and you have two different people that you can have fix your car. The first person you have is you have someone that just graduated from Harvard with a degree in mechanical engineering. They've never fixed the car. They don't have that experience in fixing cars day to day, but they've learned all of the theoretical aspects, everything they needed to know in school about fixing cars, about mechanical engineering, and they have a certificate to show for it. They have what? They have a certificate to show for it. And then you have another person that did not go to Harvard, but has worked on a lot of cars. And they don't have a certificate to show for their work, but they have past cars that they have worked on to show for their work, to show to you. They have examples that they can show to you. Oh, you know, this car that was driven by Mr. Kunle, I was the one that worked on it. Or you know, that car that was driven by by Jasmine. Oh, I also worked on it. Oh, this man was having that issue yesterday. He came to my shop. I helped him fix it up. The car is good right now. One that has a certificate to show for it, and another that has experience based on the cars they've worked on to show for it. Who would you give your car to? A or B? Experienced person. Thank you very much. Pass. What about the rest of us? Who would you give your car to? A or B? Kabir, who would you give your car to? B. So I can see lots of B's. Emmanuel says B. Kudiwat says experience. Chibuke says B. Uche says B. Osaritin says B. Fantastic. B, B, and even some more B's. And yes, B. And that is the case when it comes to recruiters. Recruiters want someone that has experience. Because with you having experience, it's telling me that you can perform, and that if I bring you into my organization, you will do exceptionally well. But then, a dilemma. You know, I used to say, I'm looking to transition. I want to get into this new space, but I've never worked there. I've never worked in that space. I want to be a data engineer. I've never worked as a data engineer. I want to be a HR analyst. I've never worked as a HR analyst. So where do I get the experience from? Because when you go ahead to apply to jobs, what do you see? Oh, you need to have 2 years experience. You need to have 5 years experience, 100 years experience. And then for you to get the job, you need the experience. And for you to get experience, you need the job. So if you need the job to get experience and you need the experience to get the job, how then do you get experience to get the job? And how then do you get the job to get experience? Okay. So it's a dilemma. What do you do? This is where project-based experience comes in. This is where project-based experience comes in. In your classes, everything you'll be learning, all of your classes, you'll be working on case studies. Now, these case studies are problems that the facilitators have worked on in their career as data analysts, as data scientists. They bring those problems and they bring it to class. They change a thing or two, to change the name of the company, change a thing or two about the data due to data privacy issues, and then you get to work on that same problem. Thereby, you are gaining the experience you would have gained while you're when you eventually do get a job by working on projects, by industry relevant projects. And then all of those projects would then be placed in what? In your portfolio, which will serve as your what? As your showroom. Your portfolio is very, very important. Never you apply for a tech job without a portfolio. So you get to learn how to come up with a portfolio. Over here, you see some examples of portfolios. So this is a website portfolio. So we show you how you can create your own personal website, for free. All right? For what? For free. We show you how you can create your own personal website and how you convert out your website to what? Show your portfolio. So that whenever your portfolio is needed, all you need to do is to provide a link. As soon as that link is clicked on, it takes you to it takes the person to your website and they get to see what you've worked on. And then we also have the GitHub profile. The GitHub is for your data engineers, your data scientists, those persons that work a lot with code. So the GitHub serves as what? As a portfolio. And these are portfolios of some of our students. So once you get the recording, you can click on these to have a look at their portfolio. So your portfolio is how you will not get that experience. For you to be able to speak about things that someone that has 2 years experience, 5 years experience can speak on, because you can actually do that work, because you've done that work as a project. You've gained experience. You've identified your career path. You've learned the skills. Okay? Identify your career path, you learned the skills, and then you did what? You also you built your portfolio. You're looking good. Fantastic. You're going ahead to apply for jobs. But is that really enough for you to get a job? Is that enough for you to get a job? You need a whole lot more. For you to get a job, you need to complete the job equation. For you to get a job, you need to complete the job equation. I'm talking about your T plus E. I'm talking about your what? Your T plus E. For you to get a job, you need the technical skills. And you also need to complement that with the employability skills. Because it's one thing for you to just go ahead to say, oh, I can do this and send a CV. But that does not mean you're going to be called back. That's the reason why you have the other 50%. Starting with your CV review. Our guest that joined us earlier, one of them talked about how she was able to revamp her CV and got 3 different interviews. 3 different interviews. Some of us on the call, we've not ever had an interview, even one. One interview we don't have. We've never had an interview. We've applied and applied and applied and applied. We've applied to 1,000 jobs. We've not even gotten one. And this is someone that got 3 different interviews and had to go with the best. You know, sometimes when we send CVs, we submit CVs to apply for jobs. Do we ever wonder, why was I not selected for the interview? Do you ever wonder? Because come to think of it, a CV is a representation of you. A CV does not contain your face. A CV does not contain your age. A CV only contains your skills, your experience. So why are you not being called for interviews? Because at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper that you can craft to any way you deem fit. Meaning that there's a way that paper needs to look. I know now it's a digital CV, but let's go with paper, okay? So it means that there's a way your paper needs to look and needs to feel that will get you an interview. Because like I said, it's not like they've seen you. It's not like maybe you spoke and they didn't like how you spoke. They didn't like how you speak. No, that is not the situation. It's just a paper. Meaning there's a way your paper needs to look that at least you get an interview. Maybe during the interview with you, then flop and then you don't get the job. But at least an interview should not be a problem. Have you ever thought about that? Some persons just feel, oh, maybe they didn't like me. Maybe they didn't like me, or maybe the CV looked somehow, or maybe there's something you need to do. There's something that works. That's what the CV review session will take you through. How you can pass through the 2 major roadblocks when you go ahead to apply for jobs. Roadblock number 1 being your CV passing through the ATS system. That's the applicant tracking system. And that when it eventually gets to the recruiter, or the recruiter takes a look at your CV and knows that you are the ones for the job and goes ahead to call on you to schedule an interview. And then we have the LinkedIn automation session. LinkedIn is the Facebook of professionals. If you are not on LinkedIn, you are wrong. I know people don't like social media. Oh, social media is this, but I don't see LinkedIn as social media, really. I don't know. I don't see LinkedIn as, I know it's social media, but it doesn't feel like social media. Okay, it doesn't feel like social media. It feels like a place where you talk about your achievements. And you know, some persons are very often intimidated on LinkedIn. So you go on LinkedIn today and see someone like, oh, thank you very much, everyone. Hello, world. Today, at the age of 14, I just got promoted to the role of a CEO in this organization at the role of 14. I thank my friends, I thank my parents, and I thank everyone for helping me to achieve this. And then you feel like, oh, maybe you are 30 or you're 35 and you're like, what am I even doing with my life? So those kind of thoughts come from time to time. But yeah, that's why they were anyways. But that should not be what you should be looking out for. LinkedIn is a great place. Many recruiters are on LinkedIn looking for people to hire. I myself, I know that I've gone on LinkedIn so many times to recruit individuals. Okay. And what do? I head on. I go ahead to search for the job role. Let's say I'm looking for an agile project manager. I search for agile project manager. I see a bunch of profiles. I take a look at the profiles. The ones I feel can do the job, I reach out to them to send me their CV if they're interested, and then we have an interview. That will not be possible for you if, number one, you don't have a LinkedIn profile. If, number two, your LinkedIn profile is nothing to write home about. For example, your profile picture, your profile picture, you have a picture of you eating, or a picture of you posing like this. Like maybe it's Instagram. It's only Instagram you're free to pose like this. Okay, and you strike a pose. All right. On LinkedIn, your profile picture should be professional, and let me just spill the secrets. So there are lots of things you get to learn that would help you to have a good LinkedIn profile. Not just have a good LinkedIn profile, a profile that would attract recruiters, and also for you to get what we call emails, where you are notified about the best job opportunities that you are a fit for. If you're not here with me, send the one to the chat box. Okay, if we are still together, send the one to the chat box. Okay, fantastic. All right, get another rest to follow. So after that, the next thing is navigating the job market. Many of us on the call, maybe we just moved to the UK, or maybe we just moved to Canada, or maybe we're in the US, maybe we're in Poland, we just moved to France, we just moved to Australia, you're somewhere. Well, maybe you're in Nigeria, maybe you're in South Africa, you're in Kenya, you just moved to another country. Many times, we really don't understand how to go about the job market. When should I apply for jobs? Where should I apply for jobs? Should I apply for jobs in the morning, in the afternoon, or in the evening? What is the job market like? Yeah. Is there a way I need to position myself? Is there a way my CV needs to look to get a job? Yeah. Navigating the job market would host professionals that will come in that are recruiters in that climb in that location, that will take you through what they look out for, what the job market is like, and how you can stand out. And then we have interview preparation. 1 to 3 is meant to ensure that you get your feet in the door. I talked about the CV, getting you an interview, and then that you should at least get an interview. That maybe during the interview, you don't get the job, but at least we know you get an interview. Okay, that is for the CV. But we are not just interested in you getting an interview. We are interested in you landing that job. And that's why we have interview preparation, where you've gotten the job, you've been called for an interview, and you need someone to prep you for the interview. You can go ahead to schedule a session with a professional, and then you have a one-on-one discourse with that person that will take you through how you should answer the questions, the kind of questions you should expect, how you should talk about your experience, and a couple of other things to ensure that you, at the end of the day, ace that interview. Once you've gotten the job, you've aced the interview, you've gotten a job. Many recruiters will want you to provide some sort of reference, a reference letter or recommendation letter. As long as you're a participant or an alumnus with 10Alytics, you are sure of getting a reference letter from us when the need arises. And we also offer on the job support. So you've gotten a job, you've been given a task that is not so clear, and you need guidance. You need someone to take you through what to do. You can reach out to us, and we provide you with what? With guidance. We'll let you know, we'll tell you what to do so you go back to work and you do amazingly well. And of course, weekly mentorship session. I already talked about this earlier, that you'll be mentored each week by different professionals, taking you through new trends in the industry, things that you might have been doing wrong and ways you can correct them to ensure that you do get a job. And if you're interested in freelancing, you are interested in Upwork, the Upwork optimization session will take you through how you can be a successful freelancer on Upwork. All of these things added to the skills you learned earlier is what at the end of the day would help you out in landing that job. And another thing is networking. You also want to have a good network, because when you have a good community, many times you would get access to opportunities you did not even know existed. An example, we have Anwelton. Now, Anwelton got a job as a performance data analyst with in Glasgow, Scotland, all right? And that's after training with us. So after Anwelton got the job, 2 other data roles were available. So the HR consultant in the company Anwelton works in asked Anwelton if he could recommend 2 data analysts for that role. And what did Anwelton do? Anwelton reached out to us. Okay, so you can see it says, "Hello, sites Anwelton Stephen. I just want to say a big thank you for." So this was when we provided the reference to Anwelton to help him get a job. And this was when we helped him with the reference. Okay, so this was when he got the job. Okay, then over here, you see when Anwelton mentioned that I am still getting offers, but I don't know who I can recommend. Does it get better than this? Earlier, we heard one of our guests mention that she got 3 different interviews. One of our previous testimonials, Ikmat got 2 different job offers. Maybe we'll listen to the testimonial later. Okay, Ikmat got 2 job offers, and she had to choose the best. And Anwelton got a job and was told to also recommend 2 different data analysts. Only when you're in this community would you have access to this. For example, the other interviews that Oyefikayo had, who knows? Maybe they might be like, okay, so please, do you have anyone that will be willing to jump on this role? And then she reaches out to us and then we recommend somebody. Networking is fantastic. Only when done right. Because for many of us, it might be difficult to network. We don't know who to meet. You don't know. Are you just going to go out there and say, oh, let's connect, let's connect, let's connect? No. But you need to have people around you that are trying to achieve similar things to what you are looking to achieve. The 2 people that got the job, you know, this is really interesting when I take a look at this. It's very easy. There's a lot. We've been doing this for over 4 years now. We know what works. We know what works, and that is what we are doing. That has been able to help us help over 2,500 people get jobs, transition into tech. Remember the role that Stephen mentioned, the 2 roles. Okay, now the 2 persons that got those roles, where we had Sunday and Oluwaseun. Sunday and Oluwaseun, they both resided in the UK, that's in Scotland, and so they were able to apply. So they sent us their CV. We sent the CV over to another team, and they got the job. And you will notice that Sunday was a data analyst consultant, so it trained. It was a part of our data analytics program, and then Oluwaseun was a part of our data science program. You need to have a good community. Okay? You need to have a good community. Mentorship. We know mentorship already. Mentorship is one big thing. Everyone is always like mentorship, mentorship, mentorship. Or I need a mentor, I need a mentor. And that is a fantastic thing. That's a very good thing because, of course, having a mentor is fantastic. It's brilliant. Having someone that would guide you, like a teacher, teaching you the ABCs and the 1, 2, 3s of the tech ecosystem you're looking to transition into. That is why you will be mentored weekly. It's another aspect that you need to go through. Remember, we're taking a look at the different steps you need to go through to get a job. Starting with what? Identifying the career path you want to go into, learning the skills, gaining your employability skills, networking, then we have mentorship. Over here, you notice that there's a lot of mentorship sessions every week. So mentorship sessions from the power of network and the power of focus. So the power of focus was taken by Efemina. All right. So he got to mentor the participants on the call on how they can be focused on the particular thing and not just. So he got to share his story of how he was able to transition into data science and how you can do same, on how you should not jump from one place. Oh, maybe today you say I want to be a data analyst, and then you get that. So someone says I got a job as a data scientist, and tomorrow you try to switch to data scientist. Then you get someone got a job as a cybersecurity analyst, and you're like, oh, I want to be a cybersecurity analyst right now. But how you can focus on what you've decided and how you can succeed in that. And interview simulations, body mentorship, where we have people, alumni that have gotten jobs, join the call, take you through how they got jobs, something similar to what we did in this session, but a more personalized one where you can ask questions and they would respond to guide you on how they were able to succeed, so you succeed as well. Being mentored every week. In all of this career path, the salaries are fantastic. From if you decide, oh, I want to be a data analyst, a data scientist, a data engineer, all of these are the averages. Now, what does average mean? Average means that you would have people that earn above this, and you would have people that earn slightly below this. But this is what you should be looking at. I don't want to spend time here. I know we spent time on the call, okay? So all you need to do, ensure you fill that form, very important, fill that feedback form, so you get access to each and every one of those things, okay? Very important. So you get access to this. Maybe you want to take a look at, you have to compare the different salaries later on. But what does each role entail? What does each role entail? Okay, I also said, you've talked about data analytics, you've talked about cybersecurity, you've talked about this, you've talked about that. But what does it mean to be a cybersecurity analyst? What does it mean to be a business analyst? What do I need to know to be a data analyst? What do I need to learn to be a HR analyst? What do I need to do to be a business analyst? Easy. Starting with the business analyst. For you to be a business analyst, you need to start with your Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Now, who is a business analyst? What does a business analyst do? A business analyst is a professional that analyzes the business processes and helps the company analyzes the business processes And to find, sorry, let me take that again. A business analyst is a professional that analyzes business processes to help to optimize those processes. A business analyst is the middleman between the technical stakeholders and the non-technical stakeholders, helping to ensure that whatever project that the company is working on is tilted towards the company's goals. An example, the company wants to build an application. The technical stakeholder, the non-technical stakeholders in this case will be the CEO, the COO, the all of those guys. And then we have the people that make the decisions, right? And then we have the technical stakeholders, in this case, will be the developer, the designer that's going to build the application. The business analyst will be in charge of gathering requirements from the non-technical stakeholders and then use those requirements to form acceptance criteria that the technical stakeholders would use as a guide for them to know what they need to build, what needs to be in the application to serve as an MVP, which is your minimum viable product. A business analyst is a person that will take a look at the company's processes. Or at the moment, what we are doing, it takes 5 days for us to deliver an item. How can we drop that down to, let's say, 5 hours? How can we be more efficient? How can we be more productive? You begin with your Excel, Power BI, and SQL. Because many recruiters want business analysts that have a flavor of data analytics. A flavor. It's not like I'm looking for a data analyst, but I would love if my business analyst tastes like a data analyst. For example, let's say you go buy ice cream and then you ask the vendor for a scoop of vanilla. And you're like, okay, so can you also add a scoop of chocolate? I just want to have that chocolate feel. Wow. I feel like having ice cream now. I think after we are done with this session, I'm gonna go get ice cream. I'm gonna get a bowl, a big bowl. Yeah, I'll get a big bowl. So yeah, my favorite flavor is chocolate, in case if you are wondering. I know you did not ask, but just in case you are wondering. So I'm gonna get a big bowl of ice cream after we are done with the session. But that's what a business analyst goes after. I'm sorry, that's what recruiters are looking for. That business analysts that have what? A flavor of data analytics. And that's why you begin with your what? With your Excel, you learn about your Excel, your Power BI, and your SQL to give you that flavor. And then you move into business analysis, learn about your process mapping, how to map out processes, working with tools like your draw.io, your Lucid chart, your project initiation planning, Agile and Scrum for project, software development lifecycle, requirement fundamentals. That's how you can gather requirements from stakeholders, your elicitation, stakeholder analysis and engagement, ChatGPT for business analysis, and of course, your Azure DevOps. Okay. So that is what a business analyst does. That is what you need to also know as a business analyst. What about the Agile project manager? The Agile project manager is in charge of the entire project. The business analyst is stakeholder facing. The Agile project manager is in charge of the entire project. The Agile project manager is the servant leader of the team. They are leading the project, not necessarily the people. Their duty is to ensure that the project is done, the project is achieved, and that everyone is working side by side. Agile means Agile project management is different from your fundamental project management, which is talking about your waterfall. That's your traditional project management. Agile talks about flexibility. Agile talks about adaptability. Many organizations are now tilting towards Agile because it helps things to be done faster. It helps things to be done quicker. It helps for when iterations are going to be made for things to be done better. And as an Agile project manager, things that you need to know, your introduction to project management. So you start from the basics. So it doesn't matter if you have knowledge before or not, no problem. You're gonna start from the basics and then move to your project management skills and communication, your foundations of Agile and Scrum, understanding the Scrum framework, and a whole lot others. Learning your Kanban, which is a Scrum, which is an Agile framework, and also your Lean. So if you go ahead to work in an organization that says, oh, we need someone that can work with Kanban, there's no problem, you're good to go. If you go ahead to work in an organization that says, oh, we need someone that can work with Lean, there's absolutely no problem, you're good to go. So you have all of the skills in your arsenal. You have all of the skills in your utility belt if you are Batman. I don't know if you guys know Batman, probably not. But yeah, everyone knows Batman. Batman is a very popular superhero. Do you know Batman? Batman should be popular. Batman came up in the 90s. I know we are all adults, but we should know Batman. Everyone knows Batman, right? You know, Batman has a belt. It's called the utility belt. So as an agile project manager, you want to have your utility belt, and in your utility belt, you want to have Scrum in there. You want to have Kanban in there. You want to have Lean in there. So you can function in any situation. The agile project manager is in charge of that project. The business analyst is in charge of that process. The agile project manager decides how the project should go. The business decide how the project should go, talking about the budget, ensuring everything is going fine. The business analyst is in charge of getting the requirements from the stakeholders as regards that project. The agile project manager works with mostly your project management tools, from your Confluence to your Jira, Trello, your Asana, and the others. As a business analyst, you get to learn the program. You get to learn for 3 months. So you learn for 3 months, and then you intern for 1 month, 4 months program. Learn for what? For 3 months, and then you intern for 1 month. Same thing for the agile project management. But what about the data analyst? As a data analyst, what will you be learning? You begin with the problem solving, because you can't claim that you are a data analyst if you can't solve problems. It's just like you saying you can drive, but you can't drive. Oh, it's just like you saying you are a pilot, but you can't ride a plane. As a data analyst, something that is very, very pivotal to everything you do is your ability to solve problems. And that's the reason why you begin with your problem solving, learning the different problem solving techniques, from your 5 whys to the 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, the decision tree, prioritization matrix, for you to be an expert problem solver and not just the traditional problem solver. Because I've been in many interviews, and one question, if anytime I ask the interviewee, oh, can you solve problems? The answer is always, yes, I can solve problems. You know, I'm a very good problem solver. In my last company, we had a problem whereby nobody could fix, and I fixed it up in 2 minutes. How did you fix the problem? Everyone is a good problem solver. Everyone can solve problems. Two questions that in interviews, the answer is always yes. And it's a secret, okay? Maybe it's not really not, I think it's a secret. So listen closely. I'm only going to whisper. 2 questions that the answer is most times the answer is a yes during interviews is, number 1, can you solve problems? 99% of the time, it's yes, I can. You hardly find an interview that says no. And number 2 question is, can you work under pressure? Can you work under pressure? Oh, yes, I can work under pressure. Oh, you know what? I'm pressure itself. You know, I am pressure. So you've not seen anything. So once I start working for you, you can give me 5 tasks. I can handle it in 2 seconds. All right. Yeah. So the problem solving that we are talking about is not that kind of, oh, yes, I can solve problems. No, but do you actually know the different problem solving techniques? And then you move to your Excel, spending 3 good weeks in Excel, using 3 weeks to learn about Excel. Remember, Excel is not just your mundane tool. It's a whole lot more than that. As you've noticed, a job requirement was advanced knowledge of Excel. You have your SQL, which is a language, a data query language that you learn to be able to query databases. And then you have your Power BI, your Tableau, which are both business intelligence tools, your ability to tell stories with data for when you're giving your presentation, ChatGPT for analytics, and of course your Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. So you learning timeline is for 4 months, you learn for 3 months, and then you intern for 1 month. And so classes on Saturdays. So you have your live classes on Saturdays, and then on Sundays you have the watch me do it videos. Remember I talked about watch me do it videos. So on Saturdays you have, if you're in the US, if you're in North America, or you're in Europe, or the Europe time zone, that's including Africa. So there's a session for you. So for those in the UK, so that's 11 to 2 p.m. What? And for those in Canada, that's in North America, the North America time zone, that's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. What? So there's a class for everyone. But what about the data scientist? The data scientist is a professional that goes ahead to add a part of analytics that the data analyst does not necessarily do, and that's talking about the predictive analytics. As a data analyst, the two major kind of analytics that you are focused on: number one, your descriptive analytics, which is talking about what happened in the organization, and then your diagnostic analytics, which is talking about why did it happen. What happened? What is the data saying? Oh, we made $50 million. Why did we make $50 million? Then you go ahead to, the data also provides the answer to you. The data scientist takes it a step further and answers the question, what will happen? Being able to build your machine learning models that will be able to predict the future, carrying out your forecasting by using Microsoft Excel. As a data scientist, you begin with your statistics, your mean median mode. That's not something that we are strangers to. Everyone knows your mean median mode. But do you really know the actual application of statistics to a business? The answer is probably no. And that is what you get to learn. You get to learn your Tableau for data analytics, because you'll be learning descriptive. As a data scientist, you'll be learning the descriptive analytics, diagnostic, and also the predictive analytics. That is the reason why the data science program is actually called the full stack data science, because you are learning all of the different kinds of, you're learning all of the different kinds of analytics. Your Python programming, Python is the bread and butter of a data scientist. So how you can use Python for your EDA, that's your exploratory data analysis, your machine learning, your computer vision, that's you being able to build systems that can detect objects, detect poses, and how you can work with your GitHub for version control, and also Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. The program is for 4 months, you learn for 3 months, and you intern for 1 month. With classes also being on Saturdays, and on Sundays you having this watch me do it videos. And then for the data engineer is in charge of building the data pipelines. The data analyst and the data scientist are both going to work with something. They are both going to work with data. But where is the data going to come from? Is it going to materialize from thin air? No. The data engineer is the one in charge of getting that data from the different data sources and pushing it to a database or a data warehouse, which will a database or a data warehouse where a data analyst or a data scientist can easily get access to for them to carry out the analysis. For you to be a data engineer, you need to understand your SQL. Very, very important. SQL is like, you must know SQL. All right. Your Python programming, your Linux operating system, how you can build custom ETL pipelines by working with APIs, your web scraping, etc. Your Apache Spark for big data processing, your Apache Airflow for data orchestration. That's when you're trying to automate your pipelines, so you don't have to run the code yourself over and over again. But then you would have a system that will be getting the data from the data sources whenever the need arises, without you having to go back to write the code from square one. Your AWS for cloud engineering, your Azure as well, your version control, your GCP, you should also be learning about GCP. And the learning timeline is for 5 months, where you get to learn in 3 months, and then you intern for 2 months. 3 months of learning and 2 months of internship. With your classes on Saturday being from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. what? 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. what? And then on Sundays, you have the self-paced watch me do it videos. And then for the financial analytics, the financial analyst is actually similar to the data analyst. The financial analyst is a data analyst, but a data analyst that focuses on what? On financial data. The data analyst is a generalist, someone that can treat all kind, like if you use medicine, your GP, the general practitioner. So the data analyst is your GP, while the financial analyst is your surgeon. The financial analyst is a data analyst, like I mentioned, but a data analyst that focuses on financial data. So you get to learn all of the data analytics fundamentals, from problem solving to Excel to Power BI to SQL, and then you move into your accounting fundamentals, financial analysis, financial modeling, your valuation, sensitivity and scenario analysis, and of course your ChatGPT for analytics. Learning for 4 months, a program for 4 months, learning for 3 months, and then interning for 1 month. With classes being on Saturdays, and on Sundays, you having your self-paced watch me do it videos. Same thing for the HR analytics, for the HR analyst. The HR analyst is similar to the financial analyst, but just like the financial analyst focuses on financial data, the HR analyst focuses on HR data. Gone are the days where HR was mundane, that the only thing you can do is just, people request for leave, people say, oh, I'm not going to come to work today, you pay salaries. Nah, HR has transcended that. Now we use data in HR, having what we call stay interviews instead of the exit interviews that we usually have. Being able to use data to reduce company attrition and not just trying to go with the flow when it comes to attrition. Oh, we noticed this person left, but being able to use data to keep people from leaving. Program is for 4 months, then for 3 months, and you intern for 1 month. And then for the cybersecurity, in the cybersecurity program, you'll be focused on 4 major career paths. Because if you're familiar with cybersecurity, you know that there are different aspects when it comes to cybersecurity. You'll be focused on 4 main career paths, starting with your SOC analysis. Then you move on to your penetration, to your threat intelligence, and then to your penetration testing, and lastly, your governance risk compliance, which is talking about your GRC. In these 4 parts, you'll be learning how to work with tools such as your Wireshark, your Splunk, your Zap, your Cisco Packet Tracer for your networking. Okay, your Splunk, which is a CM tool, your Wazor, and a couple of other tools. As a cybersecurity analyst, your role is to ensure that you are protecting the company's networks and systems from cyber threats. The classes are on Saturdays. So on Saturdays, you have classes from 1 to 4 p.m. All right, on Saturdays, and then 1 to 4 p.m. what? And then on Sundays from 2 to 5 p.m. what? There are so many persons that have been able to make that switch. There are so many persons that have been able. We just had 2 persons. That's Oyefi Kayo that joined us today, and also we had Oyefi Kayo that joined us, and also Bilikis that joined the call today to share their story with us. And I'm really sure that we enjoyed that story, because I, for one, I was motivated. I know I've been in tech I've been in tech for the most part of my career, and I've been able to work across different organizations from the US to the UK to Singapore. And and I didn't have to travel to, for example, this year, and this is just me sharing my own story, okay? Letting you know that you can do the same. So this year, I worked with some organization in Singapore, helping them transform their critical business processes. I didn't have to travel to Singapore, okay? I didn't have to travel to Singapore. I could work remotely. I could if I wanted to, but I could work remotely. So all I just needed was my workspace. Okay, and then I had a team, and then we made things happen. That is the life, really. I don't think it gets better than that. Where you could decide to go on a vacation. So maybe you want to go on a vacation to Greece, and then you're on the rooftop and you're walking, feeling the chilled air, the chilled wind, and you're making money. This example I just gave was actually what one of our participants mentioned. All right. He mentioned that the reason why he got into tech was to be able to work remotely. And his exact words were to go to Greece and work from a rooftop. And he's doing that at the moment. So many persons that we've been able to help make that switch. So many people that have been able to move from what they are doing to what they want to do. We could spend all day going through all of these testimonials. but we can't. The session we are having today is titled "How I Secured a Job with after training with 10Alytics." We've had similar sessions in the past where other people joined the call to tell us how they were able to make that switch. So once you get access to these recordings, once you get access to those materials, ensure you listen to the stories of Joel, to the stories of everyone that we've been able to help make that switch, for you to know that you can do same as well. It's possible. It's very possible. Our next course begins December 7th. And for you to be a part of the next course, what do you need to do? Simple. All you need to do is to register. And registration is closing today. Okay? The next course is going to begin in 3 days' time, with registration closing today. So if you know you want to be a part of that, or you want to be a part of these, you have to go ahead to make payments as quickly as possible. The full amount is $750, but at the moment, we still have some discount slots available where you get to pay $600 instead of $750. So we still have some discount slots available. So you can go ahead to click on that link that my colleague has been sending to the chat box. Click on that link and go ahead to make payments. So you are a part of the program. Remember, at the start of the year, at the start of the year you had some things that you were looking to achieve. Okay, at the start of the year, just give me a moment. Sorry about that. I want to pull up. I'm trying to pull up a different screen. Okay, so I was saying, at the start of the year, you had goals, you had things that you wanted to do. You are like, okay, you know what? I no longer want to do what I'm doing at the moment. I want to transition from doing, just trying to survive, as people term, survivor jobs. I want to transition from working in care. I want to transition into something that I know I can have a good career transition. I can have a good career path, that I can see myself growing in that role, that I can see myself making enough money for me to be able to live well. At the start of the year, you probably had that. You probably had that thought. We're in December. What happened? Why haven't you gone ahead to register? Oyefikayo and Bilikis joined this year, just a couple of months ago. Oyefikayo and Bilikis are living the life today. You see, they had to drop off early. Why? Why did they have to drop off early? Due to work. And they're working with Bilikis is working remotely. Oyefikayo also. So you saw Oyefikayo's gear, you saw the headset, and you saw the you saw the headset with the microphone. She's working. And she had a meeting in about 10 minutes before we dropped her, before she had to drop off the call. So she had a meeting. That's the reason why we could not spend so much time having a discussion. I believe that you want that kind of life as well. And I would not be surprised if I get to hear from her tomorrow. And she's like, hi, she's 10Alytics. And you know what? I got another role that pays even 2 times better. Because the truth is, it's easy for you to get your next role after you've gotten your first role. But the only way that you can get your next role is by you getting your first role. And how can you get your first role? By going ahead to register. So if you know you've not done that right now, it's almost the end of the year. You want to ensure you get that done as quickly as possible. Click on that link. You can see the discount is still running. All you need to do, scroll down to where you're looking to the program you're looking to pay for. In this case, let's say I want to register for the Agile Project Management Program. I click on register. Okay. I click on what? I click on register, and then this would load up. All right. So I click on register, and then this loads up, and then I get to I can make payment in installments as well. So in case maybe you want to register, but at the moment you cannot make the full payment at once. So you want to break this down into multiple installments. You can make payment in either a single payment. That's as you can see, the discount is still running. That's the reason why we have $600. So as soon as the discount is off, this is going to go back to its original price. So you'd see we have $600. So you can make a one-time payment, or you can break your payment down into 2 installments by paying $200 each. So that's if you make payments this week, if you make payments now, 1 month into that would be in January, you get to make your second payment. And then you can also break that down into 2 installments. That's paying $200 each. So you pay $200 in December, pay $200 in January, and pay the balance in February. So once you go ahead to click on the tranches you want to select and you click on proceed to pay, it will take you to a page where you insert your details, you insert your payment details, your email address, and then once you make payments, you will get a receipt accompanied with a link for you to complete your registration that will be sent to your email. So once you fill that link, you upload your materials, you upload your receipt, you will get a confirmation from us telling you that your registration is successful with everything that you need to be a part of the program. Ensure you register as quickly as possible. In case if you are also looking to pay, maybe you want to start next year, you want to begin in January, you can also go ahead to make payments now, and then you defer to January. When you are filling the form, you're going to see a point that says when do you want to start. So you can signify January. The reason why you want to go ahead to register now is that it is very, very likely going into the new year, there might be changing prices, there will be changing prices, or the discounts will no longer be running. So you want to take advantage of that right now. You want to go ahead to register right now, so you know you're in a better position when it comes to resuming in January. If the price changes, there's no problem. You know you've already registered. If you want to be a part of the program for this month, go ahead, click on that link, make payments, and be ready to join a session like this to also share your story. I believe we had an amazing time. I believe we all had an amazing time. If you know you had an amazing time, just send the one to the chat box, okay? I think I can also take questions. So if you have a question for me, maybe I can take 1 or 2 questions. We have clarity sessions every day, okay? Every day. So what you can do if you have questions, maybe lots and lots of questions, you can book a clarity session, okay? And then you get to speak with professionals that will answer all of your questions. All right, I'm glad that we enjoyed ourselves. I'm glad we enjoyed ourselves. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I guess at this point, this is where you do the bow. So I guess we go, the bow. How is it done? So do we have any questions? So if you have a question, you can use the raise hand icon, and I would, if you have a question, you can use the raise hand icon, and I will call on you, ask you to unmute so you ask a question. So JJ Lola is asking, what's the best program to study as a zero knowledge fellow? Yes. So the best program to go with, it's actually the 8. If you join the start of the program, you see I was able to break things down on why you should choose from the 8 career paths. That's from data analytics to data science to data engineering to HR analytics to financial analytics, cybersecurity, or business analysis. I think I'm missing one of them. So an agile project management, okay? So any of these career paths that you choose, you don't need to have any prior knowledge or any prior experience. That's the reason why we went with these 8. All right, so yeah, that's about it. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining the session. I know at the start of the session it was a bit rocky. I was having some technical glitches, but I'm glad that we were able to have a nice and amazing time. Until I see you next time, ensure you register as quickly as possible. And as we always say, quick says the clock. What you have to do, please ensure you do quick. Cheers, everyone.